Hi everyone, it's Fitting Dragon. I decided that I want to start the month of July with some of the inks that I bought at inksample.nl that I bought during Touch Pen Show last month. At first I wanted to ink all of them, but then I realized that I bought the reds and the bronze and I don't really have any other colors. If I were to ink all of them, then my currently ink will get quite boring. So in the end, I decided to ink 4, and for the other 2, I will ink later. I'm so excited that this will be the first time I am doing a currently ink in my new ink journal after the previous one was out of paper. I will open up with my fun combination. So I have Diamine Inkvent 2021 Winter Spice filled in my Pilot Parallel 3.8mm. This ink is a brown ink with very strong green sheen and also beautiful blue shimmer. Yes, I am well aware that I'm using a winter ink in July, because I don't usually use shimmer inks in my regular ink. I got this sample from my pen friend 2 years ago, and while I really love the shimmer and the base color of this ink, I'm finding myself not really reaching out to it when I want to ink a pen. Thus, I am really glad that I found a new purpose with all my shimmer inks, which is to put them inside my Pilot Parallel nib pens. I have 3 of them now, the 2.4, 3.0, and 3.8. And this is just so fun. From Diamine Winter Spice, I can see the base color of this ink, which is the brown, and because of the heavy application using this nib, I can also see both the green sheen and also the blue shimmer. I just love this combination so much, and I am just generally excited to be finding another combination with the Pilot Parallel nibs and also the shimmer inks that I have, and basically just giving and breathing, giving them a new life by having them inside these fun pens. Okay, we'll get real now. As I mentioned before, I ink 4 inks from inksample.nl. So these first 4 pens and inks are filled with the ink sample from there. This first one is Ink Institute Zodiac series. The name of the ink is Lucky Bunny, and I fill it inside my Sailor Pro Gear Imperial Black with medium 21 karat gold nib. I really love this combination, and even though I am not the one who matchy, I feel like this Ink Institute Lucky Bunny with the Sailor Pro Gear is a very great match. And because on the previous inking in this pen, I filled it with light colored or drier ink. This ink is more on the medium side, so it just flows so nice and well on this Pro Gear Imperial Black. This makes me happy, and I noticed that I feel this comforter way more than I usually do, but for this time I feel it almost like half of the comforter. I normally don't buy any gray or black inks, but somehow when I saw the swatches of the inks that inksample.nl have on Touch Pen Show, this ink drowns me in. It is a regular, okay, it's not regular. It is a gray, and on very heavy ink pool, it looks very dark with red sheen. I'm seeing on the website that Inks Institute make this ink from black and green ink. So in some paper, it is indeed looks quite gray greenish when wet, but it dries to this cooler tone gray, dark gray. So I am looking forward to be writing with this more and more. As for the color comparison, Ink Institute Lucky Bunny looks the darkest out of all the swatches that I have here. It is darker than Sailor Sekiri TUZU, and the base color is colder compared to Chuck Herban Chris Orage. I'm talking to myself that maybe Ink Institute Lucky Bunny would be one of the first ink that makes me fall in love with grays and blacks. We will find out next year if I have more gray and black inks or not because of this. Okay, the second ink that I got from inksample.nl is this Pure Pens. It's from the Chartist ink series, 17th anniversary in 2021 of Pure Pens. The name of the ink is People's Charter, and I feel it inside my Studyo Agackakan Primary Manipulation 1. The model is WP2, and the nib in it is my Franklin Christoph Medium Sig nib, which is one of my favorite. This particular Pure Pens ink is based on the history of their location. If you are interested in it, then there is like a little story about it on their product page, and I can recommend you to take a look at it. I really love inks with stories, and I am glad that I can try this because of inksample.nl. Pure Pens commissioned this ink from Diamine. It is a reddish maroon with very strong green sheen on it, and the sheen is visible throughout the writing. The sheen makes the experience of writing more exciting for me. Okay, base color wise, Pure Pen's People's Charter is quite close to Diamine's Writer's Blood, although it is more on the darker side, especially in an edition with the sheen, then it looks a bit darker. It may be really close to Diamine All the Best, although All the Best have a lighter green sheen and shimmer, while People's Charter is just sheen ink. The third ink that I got from inksample.nl is this Tono and Lim's 6 years anniversary Silent Night, and I feel it inside my Studyo Agackakan WP6 Olive Agate with a CY Mini Sankakusen nib. The Sankakusen nib means that in one nib I can use the high writing angle and achieve a very thin writing, while if I write in lower angle, then the nib is thicker. I really love this nib because I can just bring one nib and I can get multiple line width. And for this particular nib, I got it grind during Dutch Pen Show with CY himself. As for the ink itself, it is the 6 years anniversary Silent Night. It is a brownish ink, and on writing, there is a certain softness to it that I love. The performance of the ink is also well, and basically I don't really have any complaints with these combinations. It's just so great, and the combination with the pen, the nib, and also the ink makes me want to pick this pen again and again for writing. Although after inking, I just noticed that this one and the Pure Pen's Charter kinda share the same color, which I usually don't have when I ink my pens regularly. So by having the double similar looking ink, I find that in my heart I wish that I have a more different colors ink at the same time. But that's just a minor. I always forget about it whenever I grab this pen or this pen, just because they are both writing so nicely. I checked the Tono and Lim's website as well for this Silent Night, and I admit that I laugh when looking at what they write because it's just so brief. In a glance, Tono and Lim's Silent Night looks quite similar to Diamond Inkvent 2021 Says the Night, although for Says the Night, it is, I think, mostly because of the mixture of the sheen and the base color, while Tono and Lim Silent Night is just almost non-sheen, although now I see that there is some green sheen on here, but I don't normally see it on regular writing. Okay, now we are on the last ink sample that I got from inksample.nl. It is a Lennon toolbar Cape Leadwort, which is a 2025 spring limited edition. It is from Pretty Volume 3. And I fill it inside my Esterbrook Estie Nouveau Blue with Gena Reverse Architect nib. So when I first inked this and tried to write with the nib, I thought that I am making a mistake of putting this ink inside this pen just because it writes so light. You can see here on the swatch card that the writing Lennon toolbar and Cape Leadwort is almost illegible. But to my surprise, when I write with the regular side, which is the fine nib on this Gena Reverse Architect, the writing becomes legible. So this is the first ink that I know that behaves this way when it is not that legible on the wider nib and it is totally legible on a finer nib. When you see this, I want you to see the change of the color from wet to dry. I'm trying to write faster here so that you can see the difference between when it is dry here on the top and when it is dark. And during the process, I can see the blue part and the purple part, which is so calming to do. And it's just fun. The Lennon toolbar Cape Leadwort is inspired by the flower with the same name. It is a very cute bluish flower that goes from the beginning of spring until the end of summer, if I remember correctly. The color itself is very cute, although while I love the colors and I've been inking this type of inks lately, I wish that it is just a tad bit legible. Cape Leadwort is the lightest out of all my almost illegible inks that I have, and it is leaning more on the purplish bluish that has a certain glows with the ink. The rest of my ink are the inks that I got from other sources. So this one is a regular Diamine eau de Nil. I fill it inside my Pilot Kakuno fine nib. Now this is clear that I love my Pilot Kakuno nibs. In the past, I don't really ink this fine nib because I prefer the medium and basically a wider nib. But I think I grew to love this Pilot Kakuno with the last two inkings that I do with it, because it is a steel nib and it is stiff, but there is a feeling of the soft. It's not bouncy, it's like a marshmallow soft that goes when I write with it. Well, previously I thought it is because of my previous ink. I do feel the same way with this Diamine eau de Nil, so I think it is just that Pilot Kakuno is just such a great pen to have. Diamine eau de Nil, surprisingly, is very similar to Pilot Iroshizuku Rika, although Rika is slightly lighter compared to eau de Nil, and it is on the bluer side compared to all the rest of swatch card that I have here. And last, my next inking was made because I'm seeing that I have all the darkest color here and I need something brighter. Thus I have Pennonia Napnyugta, which means sunset, inside my Sailor TUZU in broad nib. I've had a little bottle of this ink from last year, but I have been putting off inking it just because it looks very light on swatches online, and I usually prefer my inks to be legible. But after the Napnyugta that I did the inking of last time, I feel like I wanted to try this Napnyugta as well because it looks more legible than Napnyugta. We can see here that it is indeed legible, although it is not really something that I will regularly ink, but it's just nice to know that I have the options of this orangish yellowish ink to ink whenever I want something brighter with my currently ink. And one fun thing about this ink, just like Napnyugta, is that it is a fluorescent ink. So I have my UV light here, and when I go through the writing a bit in there, you can see this slight glow that goes with it. And as for color comparison, it is lighter than Wearingo Gyeonghui. It is more orange and darker than Ackerman Hill Ochre Fan France and obviously Pennonia Napnyugta. Just because we have these all side by side, then I will just turn on my UV light again just to play around with it. But Pennonia, Napnyugta, and Napnyugta are the only ones with UV fluorescent thing. Once again, I can recommend inksample.nl, especially if you are in Europe and if you want to find some interesting samples. This is all that I have here, and what do you think? See you on the next one. Bye bye!